Have you ever wondered why some people grow lonelier as they get older, while others stay close to family and friends? It's not just about gray hair or moving slower. As we age, we form habits, small ones, that can slowly push people away, hurt relationships, and make life harder than it should be. The scary part? Most of the time, we don't even realize we're doing it until it's too late. But here's the good news. You can change these habits, and this video will show you how. We're talking about the hidden habits people don't like to mention, the ones that steal your happiness, your health, and your closeness with others. You'll meet Linda, a 71-year-old retired teacher. Her story will show how these habits crept into her life and how she turned things around. Why should you watch until the end? Because we're revealing 9 surprising habits that could be affecting you or someone you care about, and giving simple, easy tips to break free. Habit number 7 will surprise you. It's the one most people miss until it hurts them deeply. And by the end, you'll get a challenge that might just change your life starting today. Stay with us to learn how to spot these habits before they take control, how to rebuild lost connections, and how to age with purpose, not regret. If you've ever felt lonely, stuck, or just curious about what might be holding you back, this is for you. Tap the like button, subscribe, and let's dive in, because the longer you wait, the harder it gets to change. If you haven't subscribed yet, I suggest you do, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a video. Your support really matters to me. And if you find this video helpful, please like and share it. If you enjoy the topic of this video, comment 1. If not, comment 0 to help me improve and create better videos for you. Now, let's begin. Number 1. Becoming too negative or critical. Linda never thought she would become someone who complained a lot. She believed she was just honest, saying what was on her mind. But over time, she noticed a change in herself. At first, it was just little things, a sigh, a short complaint, but it became a habit she couldn't ignore. Her mornings began with groans about her sore back and knees. "Getting old," she would mutter. It felt harmless, but soon, that mood carried into her entire day. She watched the news and felt angry and helpless. When talking to younger family members, her words turned sharp. "We had better manners in my day," she'd say, shaking her head, as if they didn't measure up. At first, she didn't see how this was hurting her relationships. It felt like she was just sharing honest thoughts. But slowly, people started backing away. Friends kept conversations short. Her grandkids, who once loved visiting her, stopped coming as often. What Linda didn't realize was how much her negativity was pushing people away. Even if your feelings are real, most people don't want to leave a chat feeling worse than when they started. Negativity is heavy. It drags people down and keeps them away. It's easy to fall into the habit of complaining. As we age, things change. Our bodies, the world around us, and the way we live. It can be hard to keep up. Tasks like shopping or using new technology can feel frustrating. Talking about it helps, but if all we do is complain, we end up alone. So, what can you do to change this? Try to begin conversations with something good. Say something like, "I'm thankful I had a good night's sleep," or "The sky was so pretty today." Positive energy spreads. People enjoy being around others who lift them up. When you do need to complain, give yourself a limit, maybe 2 minutes, and then switch to a better topic. Instead of criticizing, try being curious. Ask your grandkids about their favorite games or apps. Say, "Can you show me how that works?" This builds a bridge instead of a wall. When Linda started being more positive, asking questions, and saying thank you more often, everything began to change. Her conversations lasted longer. Her family opened up to her again. And the love she thought she lost started coming back. She learned, through some pain, that the energy you give out is the energy that comes back. If you want people around, you have to be someone they want to be around. That starts with your words, your mindset, and how you choose to see the world. Number 2. Ignoring personal hygiene and appearance. There was a time when Linda loved fashion. She enjoyed getting dressed up, picking out just the right outfit, putting on a little makeup, and fixing her hair before leaving the house. She had bright clothes and a favorite perfume that made her feel strong and pretty. But over time, that began to change. It started with small things: missing haircuts, choosing loose, old clothes over her stylish ones. She thought, "Why bother? I'm not trying to impress anyone." Soon, she was staying in her pajamas all day and barely looked in the mirror. She told herself it didn't matter. But deep down, something inside her started to fade. She didn't feel the same anymore, not just to others, but to herself. She noticed that people treated her differently. Strangers didn't smile at her as much. Friends stopped inviting her out. Looking at old photos, she didn't even recognize the happy, proud woman she once was. Where had that person gone? What Linda didn't fully understand was that how you present yourself matters, not just to others, but to you. Taking care of your appearance isn't about looking young. It's about showing self-respect and reminding yourself that you still matter. So how can you start feeling like yourself again? Begin with small steps. Even if you're staying home, put on clean, nice clothes that make you feel good. Take care of your body. Shower, brush your hair, trim your nails. These simple actions say, "I care about myself." Wear something you love: a scarf, a pair of earrings, a splash of your favorite scent. These little things bring joy and help you feel more like you again. When Linda started doing these things, fixing her hair, wearing her favorite blouse, even using a little lipstick, she felt different, more alive. People noticed. They smiled, and she smiled back. It felt like she was becoming herself again. Not someone from the past, but someone strong and confident in the present. Number 3, becoming stubborn and resistant to change. If you're still watching and finding value in this video, comment 1 below so I know you're with me. Linda was proud of her routines. She liked what she liked, and that made her feel safe. She didn't want to change things that had worked for so long. So when her family started texting instead of calling, Linda didn't like it. "They can call if they want to talk," she said, whenever her grandkids offered to show her how texting worked. But slowly, the phones stopped ringing. Family photos and jokes were shared in group texts that Linda wasn't part of. Without realizing it, she was locking herself out of their lives. It wasn't really about texting. It was about staying close, about love and connection. But her refusal to learn something new created distance. Here's the truth: change is always happening. And it's hard when you feel like the world is passing you by. But saying, "I'll try," can open new doors. You don't need to be perfect. Just start small. Let your grandkids show you how to send a text. Watch a show they love. Say yes to trying something new, even if it feels uncomfortable. When Linda finally said yes to learning how to text, she was shocked by how easy it was and how much she had been missing. She got daily photos of her great-grandkids, sweet messages, and jokes that made her laugh. It wasn't really about learning a phone. It was about feeling close to the people she loved. By letting go of her stubbornness, she gained so much more. Number 4, hoarding and refusing to let go of clutter. Linda had always been a sentimental person. Every item in her house reminded her of something: birthday cards, old newspapers, clothes she hadn't worn in years. They all had stories. She kept them just in case. Over time, her cozy home turned into a crowded space filled with stuff. She couldn't ignore it anymore. Her safe place now felt like a mess. She didn't think it was a big deal at first. "Everything means something," she'd say. But slowly, her home became too much to handle. Cleaning was hard. Finding things took forever. She stopped having people over. She felt embarrassed. When her daughter gently said, "Maybe it's time to let go of some things," Linda pushed back. "What if I need it later?" she asked. But the truth was, the clutter was making her stressed. It filled her home and her mind. Letting go is hard, especially when memories are attached. But keeping everything can keep you stuck. You stop moving forward. You live in the past instead of enjoying now. Linda realized that to feel better, she had to let go. Don't try to clean everything at once. Start small. One drawer, one box. Ask yourself, do I use this? Does it make me happy? If not, it's okay to say goodbye. Give away what others can use. Recycle what you can. Share meaningful things with loved ones. Make it a habit. One item a day. It adds up. Also, remember, clutter isn't just messy. It can be unsafe. It raises the chance of falling or getting hurt. Your home should feel safe and peaceful. When Linda finally decided to take the plunge and declutter, something special happened. A huge weight seemed to lift from her shoulders, and the change wasn't just about her space. She donated clothes she hadn't worn in years, recycled dusty old magazines, and set up her home in a way that made it easier to enjoy the things that truly mattered. And guess what? For the first time in a long while, Linda felt peace in her own home. It wasn't just cleaner. It felt brighter, lighter, and more inviting. She felt a new sense of freedom, freedom that came from letting go of the past and welcoming the present. Most of all, she felt happy to invite friends over again, something she hadn't done and yet felt like forever. Number 5. Losing patience with others too quickly. Linda never thought of herself as someone short-tempered. She always tried to be kind, understanding, and patient. But over time, she noticed cracks forming, moments where she'd get irritated and lose her cool more easily. One afternoon at the grocery store, she waited in line with a cart full of items. The young cashier was slow, fumbling with bags, and she could feel her frustration building. Why is he so slow? Can't he move faster? She thought, her temper rising. Before she knew it, she said aloud, "Come on, can you hurry up?" Right after the words left her mouth, she saw the cashier's face fall. He looked down, hands slightly shaking as he tried to finish. That's when it hit her. This young man was new, nervous, and doing his best, and she had taken her stress out on him. A wave of guilt washed over her. Was she turning into someone she never wanted to be? Someone quick to snap and slow to show kindness? The truth hit hard. As we age, it's easy to grow less patient. Life feels different, and it's frustrating when things move slower than we want. But impatience doesn't just affect others, it hurts us too. It raises our stress, clouds our thinking, and makes our relationships worse. So how can we stay calm and kind, even when things feel slow? The first step is simple. Pause before reacting. Take a deep breath when irritation rises. Is this really worth getting upset over? Remind yourself, the slow driver may be someone's grandpa, and the cashier may be a student just trying to learn. A little grace goes a long way. Next time you feel that tension, try a new approach. Instead of snapping, offer a kind word or say, "Take your time." Linda did exactly that the next time she saw the same cashier. She smiled, praised his effort, and told him he was doing a great job. His face lit up, and Linda realized just how powerful kindness could be. Being patient isn't just about others, it's a gift to ourselves. It leads to less stress, better moments, and a more peaceful heart. Number 6. Overtalking and not listening. Linda had always been a talker. She had stories, advice, and memories to share. In fact, her family called her the storyteller. But there was a problem. She didn't realize how often she took over conversations. One day, her daughter, who had been calling less often, finally said, "Mom, I love you, but I don't always feel heard. Our talks are mostly about you, and I rarely get to share." Linda was shocked. How had she missed this? She thought back to their chats and realized she always jumped in with her own stories and advice. never stopping to ask or listen. She had been so focused on speaking that she forgot to listen. She meant well, but her daughter didn't feel heard. As we grow older, we often feel we have wisdom to share. We want to pass it on, but if we don't stop to listen, we may unintentionally push our loved ones away. Linda had to accept that in her eagerness to share, she had created distance. The secret to better conversations is balance. Don't just talk. Listen. If you've been sharing for a while, stop and ask, "What about you? How are you doing?" Show real interest in what others are saying. Avoid jumping in, even if you think your story fits. Let others speak. Ask thoughtful questions that invite more than a yes or no. Instead of, "How are you?" try, "What's something good that happened this week?" Next time Linda spoke with her daughter, she listened closely. She asked questions, gave space, and only offered advice when needed. The change was incredible. Their talks became longer, warmer, and more meaningful. Linda discovered that great conversations aren't about talking more. They're about truly listening. And in learning to listen, she rebuilt a deeper bond. Number 7, pushing people away instead of asking for help. If you're still watching and finding these lessons helpful, please comment 2 below to let me know you're still with me. Linda had always taken pride in being independent. It was who she was. She raised her kids with love, ran a busy home, and was always there for neighbors and friends. She loved being someone others could count on. But with time, things began to change. Tasks that were once easy began to feel harder. One afternoon, she tried to lift a heavy grocery bag from her car. Her arms shook under the weight. A young man nearby noticed and asked kindly, "Need a hand?" Linda, holding on to her pride, smiled and said, "No thank you, I've got it." But she didn't. As she dragged the bag inside, her back ached. Frustration and loneliness hit her, not just from the strain, but from turning away someone's kindness. She had rejected someone who only wanted to help, and in doing so, she felt more alone than ever. That evening, sitting quietly, she faced the truth. Refusing help wasn't making her stronger. It was cutting her off from others. She was choosing pride over connection. But asking for help doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're human. It lets others show they care. People want to help, but if we always say no, eventually they'll stop offering. And that's when we feel truly alone. Accepting help builds connection. It creates shared moments and reminds us we're not alone in this life. Whether it's a hand with a bag or someone lending an ear, letting others help brings comfort, not shame. It gives others a chance to feel useful too. Imagine never being needed. How empty that would feel. So why deny someone the joy of helping? Linda knew she had to change. The next time someone offered help, she said yes. When she saw that same young man again at the store, she smiled and said, "Actually, I could use a little help today." His face lit up, and as he lifted the bag, Linda felt lighter. Not just in her arms, but in her heart. That small moment made her feel seen, cared for, and connected. Have you ever had trouble asking for help? Or felt joy when someone accepted your help? It's a gentle reminder, we all need each other. It's okay to let others in. Number 8. Being too frugal to enjoy life. Linda had always been smart with money. She budgeted carefully, clipped coupons, skipped vacations, and rarely bought anything extra. Though she had plenty saved, she always worried, what if I need this money later? What if something unexpected happens? She was always saving, but for what? What's the point of saving if you're not living? One day, her best friend Emily invited her on a weekend trip to the countryside. "It'll be fun, Linda," she said with a grin. "We'll eat well, explore, and just relax." Linda's first thought was no. Trips cost money. Restaurants cost money. Everything about it made her anxious. What if I regret spending that money? But then, a quiet voice inside asked, When was the last time I did something just for me? 4 years. She had been saving for someday. But as she stood there, thinking of the trip, she wondered, what if someday never comes? What good is saving if I'm not enjoying life now? Why does spending on yourself matter? Being responsible with money is important, but life isn't just about saving, it's also about living. Experiences, like travel, hobbies, or dinners out, bring lasting happiness. Studies show that spending on memories brings more joy than buying things. Stuff fades, memories last. Linda had worked hard to build financial safety, but that safety meant little without joy. The real key is balance. Spending on yourself doesn't take away from what you've achieved, it celebrates it. So how can Linda change this habit? She made a decision to allow herself the freedom to spend, not recklessly, but meaningfully. Whether it was treating herself to a nice dinner, picking up a spontaneous new hobby, or saying yes to a weekend trip, she promised herself that life's little joys mattered. She even created a joy jar, a savings account just for fun and personal experiences. The next time her friend Rachel invited her on a weekend getaway, Linda didn't hesitate. She said yes. And it changed everything. In those 2 days, she laughed more than she had in months. She felt the sun warming her skin, enjoyed delicious food in good company, and most of all, she remembered what it felt like to truly live. As she sat beside Rachel, watching the sunset paint the sky, it hit her. This is what she had been saving for all along. The moments, the memories, the connection. Money wasn't meant to sit in a bank. It was meant to enrich her life. What special experience have you been postponing because of money? Life won't wait until you feel ready. The right time might be now. Number 9. Talking down to younger generations. Linda cherished her grandson Dylan. His visits brought her heart to life. She loved hearing about his classes, the clubs he joined, and especially his passion for video games. But something had shifted recently. Things felt distant. Their talks weren't as easy. Dylan seemed more distracted, more glued to his screen, less present. One afternoon, Dylan excitedly showed her a new app he'd been exploring. Without thinking, Linda sighed. When I was your age, we didn't need all this tech stuff. We actually played outside. Dylan's smile faded. Moments later, he quietly said, I think I should head out. The click of the door left a silence that pierced her heart. She hadn't wanted to hurt him, but she had. Her words, intended to share her perspective, had made him feel dismissed. In trying to connect, she had actually pushed him away. Why does talking down to young people backfire? It's easy to get lost in the nostalgia of back then, but always comparing today's world to the past can leave young people feeling like their reality doesn't count. Instead of building bridges, it builds walls. Every generation faces new battles, and rather than judging them, we should support and uplift them. So how can Linda change this habit? The next time Dylan brought up something modern, Linda smiled and said, That sounds cool. Tell me more. No judgment, just curiosity. She chose to listen. She leaned in to understand his world and asked questions that made him feel valued. When Dylan explained his game strategy, something wonderful happened. They truly connected. It wasn't about agreeing, it was about respect. Their talk flowed naturally, and for the first time in a while, they really bonded. What about you? Have you ever struggled to connect with the younger generation? What helped you bridge that gap? Sometimes, the answer isn't changing them. It's choosing to understand them. Number 10. Holding on to grudges and regrets. Holding on to grudges or regrets is like dragging a heavy bag through life. It quietly drains you. It doesn't just live in your mind. It affects everything. It steals joy and clouds your perspective. Have you ever suddenly remembered an old hurt, and just like that, Your mood darkens? That's resentment taking over. The more you hold on to it, the more it pushes away love and happiness. Over time, it even damages relationships. It shows up slowly through distance, coldness, and unspoken pain. And worst of all, it turns into anger that hardens your heart. You look around and feel alone, even in a room full of people. And don't forget the impact on your body. Bitterness carries real stress. It can raise your blood pressure, ruin your sleep, and weaken your immune system. You can pretend it's not there, but deep inside, you feel it. It affects your energy, your peace, your health. If you're still with me and finding these lessons meaningful, please type 3 in the comments below. So how do you release it and feel free again? First, accept that the past can't be changed. What's done is done. Playing it over in your head won't rewrite it. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Try, what can I learn from this? That one shift in thinking gives you power. Power to grow, power to heal, power to move forward. Forgiveness is the key, not for the one who hurt you, but for you. It doesn't excuse what happened. It simply releases its grip on your heart. Letting go doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're strong enough to prioritize your peace. Next time you catch yourself replaying old wounds, stop. Refocus your mind on something good in your life today. You might even write it all down, every hurt, every regret, and then tear it up or burn it. Let the past go with it. You deserve that peace. Linda's story proves it. For 4 long years, she held on to pain. Then one quiet night, holding a piece of paper, she let it all out. She wrote her truth, every memory, every regret, and with a deep breath, she let it go. In that moment, something shifted. She felt lighter, free. That pain she carried for years, it no longer held her back. Number 11. Ignoring health problems. Ignoring health issues might feel easier in the short run, but it's a risky gamble. Your body often whispers before it screams, and small symptoms are often early warnings. That dizziness, it might just be dehydration, or it could be a warning sign of something far more serious. That fatigue you brush off as just getting older, it could be your heart trying to get your attention. Many of us downplay our symptoms. We say we're fine or too busy. Sometimes it's fear. We're scared to find out what might be wrong. But pretending it's nothing won't make it disappear. In fact, delays usually make things worse. Why wait until it's an emergency? Being proactive with your health is not just wise, it's loving. You don't have to do it all at once. A few smart steps, a better diet, a little movement, regular checkups can make all the difference. Linda learned this lesson after a painful fall. She ended up in the hospital, hurt, shaken, and regretful. For weeks, she had ignored the dizziness, telling herself it was nothing. But the fall changed her perspective. From that moment, she promised to take her health seriously. She began drinking more water. She signed up for balance classes. She started seeing her doctor regularly. Taking control of her health didn't limit her freedom. It protected it. She was stronger for it. So ask yourself, is your body trying to tell you something? Please, don't wait for a wake-up call. You deserve to feel your best. Listen, take action. Choose wellness today. As Linda sat in her living room, flipping through old photos, she saw a life once full of laughter, light, and happy chaos. Grandkids playing, family dancing, sunshine-filled memories. Somewhere along the line, she realized she'd stopped reaching for those joyful moments. Life had become flat. But then Rachel invited her for movie night. Linda almost said no, but something inside whispered, go. That night, laughter rolled out of her like a wave. She remembered what it felt like to laugh until her sides ached and tears streamed down her cheeks. Laughter is real medicine. It's more than just fun. It reduces stress, boosts immunity, helps your brain. And of honor, and it bonds us to the people we love. As we age, laughter keeps our hearts young. It reminds us to feel alive. Linda left Rachel's that night with a smile that wouldn't fade. Joy, she realized, doesn't just show up. You have to invite it in. The next morning, instead of turning on the news, she turned on her favorite music. She danced in her kitchen, alone and happy. That moment of laughter sparked a change. Joy had returned, and you can make that same choice. Don't wait for joy to knock. Open the door and welcome it. Choose joy. As we wrap up, think about what spoke to you most today. Was it the power of forgiving someone who hurt you? The reminder to take your health seriously? Or the idea that laughter is the best medicine? Whatever it is, reflect on it and take it with you. What's one thing you want to start doing differently? Let me know in the comments. And if this message spoke to you, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories and lessons. Your support means everything.